What is up, guys? My name is Eli Fishman. We are back with another live video interview, and today I'm very glad to be joined by Seth Lonsway. Whenever he joins my live, we're going to be talking. He's a pitcher at Ohio State University for the Buckeyes, top prospect for the 2021 Major League Baseball draft. So we're going to be talking about this season, what he's going through right now in the fall with Ohio State, what he's going through with the draft, and all of that. So I'll start it off right now. Are you in Columbus back at school? Are you guys having fall practices? What's the situation?
Yeah, I'm back here at school, at my apartment. We have not started official practices yet. We're still kind of waiting to hear more information from our coach, from administration. Obviously, there's a lot going on with fall sports being delayed and canceled, and then now for us to have a plan in place for the fall, it's still kind of getting set. So we're just kind of waiting to get going.
How much of your classes are online and in person?
All of them are online right now.
Really?
Yeah, I think a lot of students are online. I think there are very few, I could be mistaken, but I think there are very few that are in person. Those certain types of labs and stuff like that you got to be there for. But yeah, right now it's all online. So
Is it only student athletes on campus right now, for the most
no,
part?
no, not really. So here in the past couple of days, I think a majority of students have moved into their dorms. The fall athletes have obviously been here for the past couple weeks as they've been training and getting ready for their fall season. But these past couple of days, a lot of the students have moved back into their dorms and their apartments. So
have they told you what it's going to be like when hopefully fall practices do resume in terms of workouts? Are you guys going to be able to use the big? I'm sure Ohio State has a beautiful, massive weightlifting facility.
Yeah, so things are obviously gonna be a little different. We don't have a set plan in place. We're still we're gonna have another meeting here, I think in a week or so, when classes start going forward. But based off of hearing what the fall sports have been doing, I would imagine it would be something whereas we'll be in a large weight room spaced out. We'll kind of each have our own section of the weight room to obviously social distance from each other. And but yeah, that's kind of based off of what I've heard from the fall sports. They've been coming in small groups for lifting and stuff like that. So it'll definitely be different. Whereas in the past, we were in our weight room at our baseball facility and we were working out, 15 guys at a time. So
during the quarantine and over the summer, how have you stayed in shape? How have you gotten reps on the mound? How much have you been throwing, facing live hitters, all that?
It's been tough. I was home for majority of the quarantine. I was fortunate enough to have some weights and a little bit of a gym in my basement at my house, back home. So I was able to work out and get some really good work in. And then, I threw with some high school kids that I'm friends with as well. Certain days of the week, we would go out and throw and just kind of work. And, I'd take video and just kind of work on stuff. And then, here this past couple weeks, I've been down in Florida. I was at the Florida Baseball Ranch training there, and got to learn a lot of great stuff down there. Made some really good progress with my delivery. So, just kind of making it work, obviously working from home, working from, wherever we can find a field and open space to throw. So
what exactly have you been working on? Is it velocity? Is it, you said, with your form and delivery? What exactly are you nitpicking?
So I think the biggest thing I've been working on is just trying to move efficiently throughout my, going down the mound. I have the velocity. I was, comfortable where I was at with that, and then, I think the other thing I've been working on is my changeup as well. So those two things have been really big for me, just moving efficiently down the mound, down the slope, and just getting everything in sync and being efficient down the slope has been a big thing for me.
Talk to me about this spring season, how all that played out with the pandemic. When did you find out that the season was getting canceled?
Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, we had, I don't know, 10 to 15 games in to our season. We just got back from Florida, and we heard that the Ivy League schools, they were kind of the first ones to cancel their season. So we got home from Florida, and the next day that news kind of broke, and we were obviously kind of worried and knew it was going to be a matter of time before the Big Ten and these other conferences started to cancel their season. So um, 3 days went on, we got back, and it got to be more and more of a concern, and then eventually we did cancel right before our home opening weekend here at Ohio State, and the news was obviously very sad and very tough to take. And we were, I felt bad for all my teammates, especially our seniors who had to finish their careers with that season, that short season that we had. So yeah, it was definitely tough to deal with.
From my perspective, I would say like the Big Ten canceling the fall season makes me a little worried about the basketball season and even the
Hmm.
baseball season. That something might not great might happen because the Big Ten was so quick to pull that trigger. Does that? Do you think about that a little bit?
Yeah, it's definitely it's crazy, man. It's you're just so used to having football every year, and then for them to jump ship like the way they did, as quick as they did, it was very shocking. Yeah, obviously it's a concern, with the rest of the year. So now, like, what happens? Do the fall sports that are moving to the spring, like how's that going to work for us? What are the logistics going to be like for us? Our spring sport athletes. So there's a lot to consider and a lot to think about. And, hopefully our administration and our people at the top are doing everything they can to, make sure everything's going to work and, follow through and be efficient. So the logistics of it are going to be tough, and it's going to be crazy times, but hopefully we can get it done.
Now, for you, right now, you're the 22nd best ranked college baseball player according to Baseball America. So obviously, top prospect for next year's Major League Baseball draft. How has that process been for you? Are you having calls quite yet with teams? I'm not sure if the dead period for scouting has ended yet. Have you pitched in front of any scout? When was the last time you even pitched in front of a scout?
Uh, Last time I threw in front of a scout was, oh man, I think against, we were down in Florida. I think it was, yeah, our last Florida trip is when I threw live in front of scouts. Yeah, no, it's kind of a dead period right now. It's not a lot of conversations are going on, and that teams aren't really reaching out. But yeah, no, it's been kind of a crazy journey. Obviously this year with the draft being 5 rounds, it was definitely tough. Tough for guys to get picked up. There's a lot of talent in the draft that didn't go and that didn't sign. Obviously we've seen what happened in the draft, but yeah, it's just crazy. Hopefully we can have a season, and hopefully we can compete and showcase our talents, and we can make the most of our opportunity here next spring to we, like I said, we got a lot of draft eligible guys this year. So I'm really excited for them to showcase their talents, because there's some really good talent on our staff right now, and I'm just excited to see how we can compete against other teams.
For you, was there any thought about signing as an undrafted free agent after the draft?
No, I felt comfortable. I felt comfortable and confident coming back to school. I'm a redshirt sophomore. With us getting another year of eligibility, I'm still a redshirt sophomore. So, I'm very comfortable and very confident being here. With my coaches and with my team, and I'm very excited for next season to roll around and get the chance to get the opportunity to play. So it definitely it crossed my mind, but it wasn't a serious thought. I felt comfortable and confident coming back here.
Now you were drafted by the Reds out of high school too. What was the
Hmm.
process of turning that down, and what did you go through mentally in deciding to go to Ohio State?
Yeah, I mean, I was excited about the draft in high school, and I was looking forward to, obviously, we all want to play at the next level as baseball players, and we want to take that journey and take that jump. So I was excited at the at the opportunity, and just didn't work out. I was drafted in that class with Hunter Green, and his situation, it is what it is, and so I kind of had to wait and see what happened with his situation, and then by that time I was kind of not really excited about the opportunity that I was going to be given. So I followed through with my commitment to come here, and I was, like I said, I was very excited to come here, and I was very confident coming here that there's going to be a great plan in place for me to succeed and develop. So it was an easy decision to come here, after the draft and not signing. So I was excited.
I don't know what the atmosphere is like in Salina where you went to high school, but I just feel
Hmm.
like for me in a public high school, if someone got drafted from our school, it would be kind of crazy, and everyone would be swarming you in the hallways. Was it kind of like that for the couple weeks you had?
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. Yeah, like it's a smaller town. Athletics are definitely a big thing in my town, and people are very supportive and come out and watch our games. And it was a crazy scene for sure. Like just in our small town, there being some scouts from teams at my games and stuff, and it was cool. Obviously the result is what it is, and I came here to school, so. But yeah, it was definitely kind of crazy getting like some publicity and like seeing your name in the newspaper, seeing your name, on different websites and stuff. And it's definitely crazy to go through and a lot to take in. So.
So I want to talk college recruiting a little bit with you.
Mhm.
First of all, when did you or first of all, actually, coming from a small town, how did you get noticed? Was it PG tournaments? Was it showcases? Did you play? Did you travel to play with a big club team? What was the situation?
I did a few showcases through like PBR when I was, I think, like a freshman in high school. I played some travel ball with the Lima Locos, the Locos Express. They're kind of a travel team in my area that a lot of kids play on. And we would travel to Cincinnati, Columbus, all over the place, Bowling Green, Ohio. So we played in some tournaments there, and there was some scouting, some scouts, college scouts there at some of our games, and I obviously got some attention, and then I did a PBR event over in Indianapolis at Grand Park, and that was kind of right before the fall of my junior year. I was uncommitted, and that event there is, I mean, there's pretty much every college in the country's there to kind of watch those games and watch those players showcase their talents. So I think after that showcase was kind of when it took off, is when I started getting some, um, people reach out and schools reach out and, asking me what I was thinking of, college baseball and if I was, open to the opportunity. So that was kind of my experience. I wasn't really a guy that did a ton of showcases. There's some guys that love to go and they do showcase after showcase every weekend. And for me, it was playing. Like I was a two-way player. I played the outfield and I played first base and then I pitched. So like I just loved playing baseball. I just loved playing every day that I could. So I wasn't somebody who wanted to just showcase every weekend.
When did you sign your NLI?
It was the fall, late fall, my junior year. I think it was like late October, maybe, or late. Yeah, I think it was like late October is when I committed. I verbally committed and then signed. So.
Were you an Were you an Ohio State fan growing up, and was it what colleges was it between?
Yeah. So I was a Ohio State fan growing up. But I was obviously open to, uh, looking at other schools too. Like I wasn't gonna just, cut off any other opportunities. I wasn't going to limit myself. So, I got some attention from some Big Ten schools. I visited the local schools here in Ohio, like Wright State and Cincinnati, and then I visited Ohio State. But yeah, I was talking to a couple Big Ten schools, and then teams would send stuff in the mail from either down south or out west. But after coming here and sitting down and getting to talk to the coaches here, knowing that there was a good program and a good plan in place for me as an individual ball player, I was very comfortable being in this locker room and being on this team. So yeah, that was kind of my experience. I was an Ohio State fan growing up, but I didn't want to limit myself to all the opportunities. So
What advice do you have for someone going through that recruiting process? Like for me, I'm going through it kind of, but I'm
hmm
like a small D3 in the middle of nowhere. But what advice do you have?
ask questions, man. You can't ask enough questions. I think if it's a priority to you to move on to the next level. And obviously, college is a great time, and college baseball is a fun atmosphere to be in. And, I love every minute of it. Um, but you got to make sure there's a plan in place for you for development and progressing as a student athlete. Um, I'm very blessed and very thankful for, my coaches and my administration here at Ohio State. They've obviously done their due diligence and put together, a plan for all of us athletes. And, they want to see us succeed in every aspect of life, whether that's on the field or off the field. So they're very good about making sure that they check off all the boxes and make sure, no stone is unturned. So that's my advice, is just make sure that you're getting a plan that's in place for you as an individual and not just a blanketed system. Make sure you ask all the questions, and no question. There's no stupid questions throughout that opportunity and that experience. So just be very due diligent in that, and just ask plenty of questions.
I've always heard that how to think about it is, if you get injured, think of if you want to stay there academically. Do you
hmm
suggest do you suggest locking in on that theory and thinking of academics first?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's always got to be a backup plan. I mean, we obviously we'd all love to play sports for forever, as athletes. We'd love to compete and love to go out there and play the game. But yeah, say something does happen, and you get injured, and you can no longer play anymore. You got to make sure you have that backup plan, and you got to make sure you're um, at a successful school that's going to help you, progress as a person, and you're going to get that degree and have opportunities later in life to get a good job one day. So
All right, so now I want to talk about yourself on the bump. Started off,
hmm
what's your repertoire? Give me a scouting report on yourself.
so I throw a four seam fastball, I throw a curveball, a 12-6 curveball, I throw a slider, and then like I said, I'm throwing a changeup now as well. I try to I try to pound the zone with my fastball early on, and then work that change up in there when we need to, and then my put away pitches are my slider, my curveball. Um, I had a lot of success this past year with my slider. It was kind of a pitch I picked up before the season. I've always kind of messed around with it and thrown it, just in like a throwing program or whatever it may be, but. Um, I threw it this season quite a bit and had a lot of success to righties and lefties with my slider when I would be behind in counts and ahead in counts. Um, so that was a pitch that I really took value of and liked to throw. So
What's your mental approach on the mound, right? When you step on the mound, what are you thinking? What's going through your head?
I try to be just super locked in. It's you're out there trying to attack hitters and get them out however you can. So it's just have confidence, be a competitor. You got to think of yourself as, you're the biggest man out there. And that's, you can never have too much confidence when you're out on the mound, because it's just you out there on the mound by yourself throwing the ball. So, obviously your teammates are behind you and they're going to help you, but nobody's going to throw that ball across the plate for you. So, you got to have 100% confidence in yourself and believe in your abilities and believe in your talent to, get batters out. So, I try to be very locked in and very focused in my approach to each batter, and understand how, we have scouting reports, obviously, and we look at some video of guys we're facing. And so understanding what each batter's tendencies are is a big part of it. So you're definitely thinking with your catcher, and you're trying to be on the same page with your catcher as far as how you want to attack guys with with your pitches that you have, and just try to maximize your abilities by executing those pitches. So
You led all of the NCAA for the couple weeks that there was a 2020 season in strikeouts per 9 innings. You strike out an absolute ton of batters. What do you attribute that to?
I would say my off-speed stuff. I try to get ahead, and then I have a lot of confidence in my slider, my curveball. So getting ahead on guys, and then being able to put them away with those two pitches. They're swing and miss pitches that I have a lot of confidence in. I feel like I can throw a lot. So I'd say those two pitches have definitely helped me get a lot of swings and misses.
What's your fastball velo at right now?
When I was down in Florida, we had, I think we had one velo day. I was up to, I think, like 95 was my max fastball. Last season I was, I was 91 to 94, and touched 95, 96 one or two times, I think. So yeah, that was kind of cool seeing, 95 a few times.
What's your velocity progression been like over the last couple of years? When did you really start pounding it in?
So my freshman and sophomore year, my first year and second year here at school, I was typically from like 88 to 89 to like, 91, 92. And then I made some changes, last fall, back in 2019. Throughout the fall, I worked on some different things, and, I'm still continuing to work on. That helped me kind of rotate better down the mound. I was kind of almost like a linear pitcher, as you'd call it. I wouldn't rotate as powerful and as well as I should have. So after I kind of made those adjustments and was able to tap into some other areas of strength where I can rotate a little better, that helped my fastball velocity jump up a little bit. So I was excited to see. I saw a little bit of that jump at the end of the fall back in 2019. I was throwing some bullpens and was, up to like 93, 94. And then, obviously this season in 2020 came out and was throwing, 91 to 94 consistently throughout the game. So that was cool to see, to see those, those things that you work on and you try to be better at, eventually play out and work for you.
Left-hander, pounds the zone a lot. What pitcher are you going to watch film on?
Oh man, I would say Clayton Kershaw is obviously one that I love watching. He's an ultimate competitor. He's not a lefty. He's not a lefty, but Max Scherzer. I love watching Max Scherzer throw. He's a competitor as well, and is very intense and takes the game serious. Who else is there that I love watching? Garrett Cole. Obviously, he's got amazing stuff. A lot of life on the fastball. But I just love watching guys that are tough competitors and love to spin the ball and command the ball all over the zone and get guys out. So
what can fans expect out of you in general? Because for me, my videos when a guy gets drafted, go up in views. Everybody wants to know what the guy's like. So if people watching this in the future, what can they expect out of you?
Just expect me to come out and, pound the zone with my fastball, command a changeup, and then put guys away with my off-speed stuff. Like I said, I'm a very tough competitor on the mound, and I'm gonna showcase that, and hopefully I can keep up the swings and misses, next year. But yeah, just a guy that's gonna come out and hopefully give you 6-7 innings of dominant pitching, and put our team in a good place to win a ball game. So.
Growing up, who was your favorite team and your favorite player in Salina, Ohio?
I loved watching Derek Jeter on the Yankees growing up. Guy was a very good competitor. Played the game right, played the game hard. He was somebody I liked watching, and Mike Trout too. Even growing up watching Mike Trout has been cool to see him play the game the right way and play the game hard. I mean, he's busting out ground balls in the infield, he's running hard down the line every time. Like that's crazy and very cool to see in today's game where, you see guys kind of just, kind of cruise down the base path when they hit a ground ball. That's usually a routine out in today's game, but plays the game hard, plays the game. You never know when your last game is going to be. So you got to make sure you give it your all no matter what. So.
And who was the favorite team?
I'd say the Yankees. Yeah.
Yankees.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you watching a lot of MLB right now when you're off the field? Are you a big, go watch
Yeah.
baseball?
Yeah. I've been watching kind of any game that's on right now. I love watching the game, and obviously with us not having the game for as many months as we did, it's exciting to finally see some baseball on TV. But yeah, it's been cool. So.
If you were MLB commissioner right now, what would you do to the game? What's your opinion on the overall state of baseball?
I mean, I know it's in effect right now, but I think the DH for both leagues is definitely one to consider. Obviously the fans want to see guys hitting the ball hard, hitting the ball out. Like, I think that's something that can definitely maximize fan viewers. For next year, I don't know. Who knows what they're going to do next year, if they're going to keep that rule in place or not. And then, we've seen some leagues, like some minor leagues, try out the the robotic strike zone, as if you want to call it, the automatic strike zone. I think that's definitely one that players would like to see. I know fans love the tradition of the game and that human error side of it. But I think you see a lot of guys, they just want the right call to be made. I think they just want the game, they play the game hard and they play the game right. I think they just want to see the right call be made. You're seeing that with video replay on, almost every, borderline safer out call. You're seeing video replay all the time now. And I think that's something where, there's no error there. We're getting the right answers with the video replay. So I think a lot of guys would be, excited about that and want to see that. So
That's interesting. You wouldn't miss the chirp in at umps a little bit, like the camaraderie with the plate.
yeah, it's like sometimes you get that call that's like maybe a ball off in the strike zone, and you just you get that little fist bump, and you're like, all right, there we go. Like, but yeah, no, I think it's just the right thing to get the right call. As much as we we like the tradition of the game, I think just getting the right call is a huge thing for guys.
As a pitcher, how are you in terms of pace of play? Because obviously MLB wants to change all the pace of play stuff, but also as a pitcher, you control the game. Are you a guy who works quickly? Do you work a little slower? Do you switch it up when you're in a tight situation, guys on base? Give yourself the time to think.
I'd say I work a little quicker than most. I like, as soon as I get the ball back, from the catcher, I'm right back on the rubber. I kind of have like a routine. I clean off the rubber, and I'm right back on the rubber waiting on the sign from the catcher. I think commanding the pace of play is a big thing for me. Making that hitter feel uncomfortable, or making him kind of do something that's out of character, or out of place for him is an advantage. I mean, why wouldn't you capitalize on that? I think so. I think you see a lot of hitters kind of take their time. They step out of the box, regroup themselves, take a deep breath, whatever it may be. I think for me, it's getting back on the rubber and saying, all right, here we go. Let's do it again right now, and getting him back in the box and making him feel like the game's speeding up on him is something I like to do. So.
Pre-start, or appearance, I don't know. Do you start? Are you out of the bullpen a lot?
Yeah, no, I start. Yeah, I start. Yep.
Pre-start, do you have any routines, any superstitions?
Pre-start, my kind of warm-up routine is kind of similar, usually every start. But yeah, no, I like to, about an hour and a half before the game, I typically, find somewhere to kind of sit and close my eyes and just kind of focus on my breathing and get to a good state of mind and a confident state of mind, and think about what I'm going to do out on the mound and how I'm going to pitch. And then, I go through my warm-up routine with a lot of different, hip mobility, shoulder mobility stuff, some soft tissue work. And then obviously I get into, some bands and some plyos and, get the body warmed up and, activated to start throwing. So.
Are you a super locked in guy on your start days that nobody wants to bother, or are you loose?
I'd say I'm kind of in between. I'm very locked in and focused, but like, you can definitely like, I'm approachable. I'd say like you can definitely come up and talk to me about the game. I'm not somebody who's like real standoffish or whatever, but yeah, I just like to be super locked in on the game, really focused, and pay attention to what's going on in the game. Even when I'm in the bench watching our hitters hit. Um, but yeah, I'd say I'm a fine line of, kind of in between the two. So.
How much preparation is there in the Big Ten pre-start in terms of video scouting reports? I would assume that when you're facing the smaller schools, especially at the beginning of the season, it's not as easy. I could be wrong, but how much do you prepare in terms of video?
Yeah, we prepare a pretty decent amount. We watch video. There's this platform called Synergy, where I would say 95% of the, NCAA Division I colleges have a membership to or access to. But with that membership and access, you get to see other teams that are part of that subscription play. So like they have to upload their video, but you also have to upload your game film to that platform as well. So like if we're playing, say like, Georgia Tech, we can go and watch their last couple games, watch their last couple, guys at bats and see kind of what their swing tendencies are, see, what guys like to bunt a lot. You guys that are, plus speed or plus bunt or plus, stuff like that. So we usually spend a few days before preparing, if we're, especially for starters. We have those days during the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to prepare for, that weekend matchup. And then, we look at, kind of some batting averages, some, how many times they bunt this year, how many times they've stolen bags this year, stuff like that. So.
That's interesting about the synergy thing. I didn't know
Hmm.
that. Do the
Yeah,
coach?
yeah, it's definitely a.
You
Go ahead.
go. You go.
No, it's definitely a big advantage. We get to sit down and watch video, and our batters even get to watch video of pitchers and see, the pitcher's off speed stuff and how it breaks and what it looks like. So it's definitely a cool thing to see.
Do you have like film sessions at the um, uh, training facility wherever
Hmm.
you get sent it? Um, you have like
Yeah,
sit down with the team.
yeah, we'll like during the week we'll meet with our coaches, and we'll kind of discuss like the weekend matchup, batters to kind of pay attention to. Yeah, and then we'll watch some of those videos, with our coaches. So.
All right, man. Thank you so much for coming on today and talking baseball. I really appreciate it.